plant fam, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jacqueline. This is part of my jungle. Hi baby, did you want to say hello? Come here. This is Crusher Pants. He is also part of my jungle. He looks so stupid. And if you're not new here, thank you for coming back. Right, Bub? Aren't you glad they came back? They helped me feed you. So you should be glad. You're so stinking cute, I can't stand it. You're so stinking cute, I can't stand it. Okay, anyway, my cat is distracting me. So, hi. So today I have a bit of a controversial, I can't say that word. I swear I'm not stupid. Topic for you that I know not everybody's going to agree with, and I'm just asking you kindly to be open-minded and to hear me out and be nice to each other and to me in the comments if you disagree. It is okay for us to disagree. I'm just going to share with you the information that I have, and you can do what you want with that. So today I'm going to be talking to you about systemic pesticides and why systemic pesticides are terrible and why you shouldn't be using them in your home. So I know that this is a really common thing that people recommend, and honestly this is what inspired me to do this video. I see so many plant influencers, especially on Instagram lately, it feels like, recommending to people that they put systemic pesticides in all of their plants, or that they do this as a preventive measure when they bring new plants home. And I have a problem with this. And the reason why I have a problem with this is it's getting toasty in here. I was cold before, that's why I had this sweater on, but now I'm kind of like getting a little sweaty, so it's fine. Yeah, I have a problem with this because there are very, very few instances where I can justify somebody using a systemic fertilizer, and it is not for preventive care. Okay, so the first reason why using a systemic pesticide on your plants is a bad idea is because it kills literally everything. So if you're not familiar with the way that a systemic fertilizer uses, it usually comes in little granules that people will put in the soil of the plant, usually mixed into the top portion of the soil, and then when you water the plant, it releases into the soil. The roots take it up and it goes up into the plant. So the whole entire plant essentially becomes toxic to bugs, so that when the bugs go to eat the plant, they also eat the toxic stuff and they die. So the issue with this, and with any pesticide really that you're putting in your soil, you're not just killing the bad stuff, you're killing the good stuff too. And your soil needs the good stuff. Your soil needs good bacteria. That is why there are products on the market to condition your soil and to make sure that your soil has the right microbes in it for your plant to be healthy. When you use a systemic pesticide, you are killing everything, all the good bacteria that is in your soil. Honestly, I don't even like to use hydrogen peroxide in my soil. Like, I don't put anytime I've done that, my plant has always declined. And the thing is, nobody tells you to like fertilize after you do something like that, because you need to put the good stuff back in. I use the example all the time of people taking an antibiotic. You understand that an antibiotic goes into your body and it kills the bad bacteria that's causing an infection, but it also kills the good stuff too. It doesn't just target one type of bacteria. It kills the good stuff too, and that is why people take a probiotic to put the good bacteria back into their gut, because that balance is essential for not just our gut health, our mental health, our cognition, like all of it. There's tons of studies about this. I literally did a research paper on this in school in my biochemistry class, but that is not the point. The point is that just like our bellies and our bodies, your soil also needs a healthy mix of good microbes. And I wanted to talk to you really quickly about a new product that I literally just got in the mail, and I thought it was perfect timing because this company, Bios, literally sells plant probiotics. So I just thought this was so funny because I'm a huge probiotic fan for people. There's a lot of stuff out there on the market, so I definitely recommend educating yourself before you go out and spend a whole bunch of money on a fancy probiotic, because again, a lot of the supplement industry is just like a total scam, but that's a story for a different time. That's not what we talk about here on this channel. But for those of you who don't know, I do have my degree in complementary and alternative medicine, so that is where all of this is coming from. So plant probiotics, you guys, how cool is that? This one is actually just lactobacillus. I'm not sure which type, it doesn't state. It's just a strain of good bacteria. One that we have in our bodies, one that you're gonna find in human probiotic as well. Usually you're gonna see lactobacillus acidophilus is like the most common one that you're gonna see. Not that anybody asked, but it's fun to say. So literally you have lactobacillus in here, cane sugar, and water. I'm not exactly sure what the point of the sugar is. Maybe to feed the bacteria. Sorry, you're out of focus. To keep it alive, but yeah, I'm really excited to try this. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. And if you're interested in that, I can leave it linked down below for you guys if you want to try it with me. And they gave me a discount code. It's Jacqueline's Jungle 20 for 20% off. So they also have other products that I'm going to try out, but I did want to mention because it fit perfectly into the theme of this video. Is it weird that I'm curious what it smells like? Doesn't smell like anything. Okay, sure. Why not? So definitely keep that in mind whenever you're using any type of pesticide, even if it's a natural one, you're killing off all the good stuff too. Even the alcohol spray that I use, you're killing the good stuff, and I encourage you to just be mindful of not like flushing it through your soil. So there is that. The second reason on the list why systemic pesticides, I keep on wanting to say fertilizer, why systemic pesticides are bad for you and the environment and just using in general is because they are really, really bad for pollinators, you guys. Like I said, the roots and the whole plant take in the toxic chemicals, so then anything that comes and feeds on that plant will also take in those toxic chemicals, and that includes pollinating insects. I know that a lot of us aren't keeping our plants outside, but some of us do put them outside in the warmer months, and I'm just asking you to be mindful if you have used a systemic pesticide not to put those plants outside if they are flowering plants, because you are putting the pollinators in your area at risk by doing that. And we all know that the pollinators are already dying and we need them. Like they're essential to our ecosystem and to our food supply. So definitely be mindful of that. And then the second thing that I want you to be mindful of is the runoff. The water gets into the water supply, and it is really bad for fish and stuff of that sort as well. Basically anything that consumes these pesticides will die. So be mindful of where it's going, where the runoff is going, and who is going to be touching the plant. So if you have kids or pets who like to nibble on your plants, you're definitely not going to want to use systemic pesticides because they can get very sick from it, and your pets can die if they eat the plants that have the toxic chemicals in them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So to add on to that, the third thing on my list is that we don't realize how long it lasts in the soil and in the water, and it can be really, really bad for the wildlife. So just be really mindful. If you have used systemic pesticides before, you have to be really careful with how you dispose of that plant that soil and the water that runs through the plant when you water it. Do not water it outside. Make sure that your water isn't going into any nearby stream. Like, I don't know what people do when they're out. I do everything inside, but it still is going into the water supply. And I'm just asking you to please be very mindful if you do choose to use systemic pesticides in your house. This goes more for people that are doing like outside gardening and farming, but I do think it applies to indoor houseplants, and I do think it's important for us to have this knowledge and this understanding so that we're not being careless about the way that we do things. So the last thing on my list is probably the scariest, honestly. I did do a lot of research, by the way, if you guys are interested. Like, I have all of the articles and all of the research that I read to support these conclusions, but there has been research to find that the systemic pesticides are carcinogenic and they are known endocrine disruptors. So what that means is carcinogenic means that it is cancer causing, and that is not just in animals and insects, that is in people that have been exposed to it as well. And endocrine disrupting is basically just a fancy way of saying that it can screw with your hormones. And we don't want to do that, girl. I promise you, you don't want your hormones to be all messed up. So definitely be mindful if you choose to use systemic pesticide. The only time that I can really ever justify using it is if you have a huge infestation and you've tried everything else and you cannot get it to work. I'd say just like toss the plant, but that's me personally. And I know you guys are gonna ask me, but Jackie, then what do we do for our pests? And that is why I think it's really, really important to learn about soil health and use these soil conditioners. And I'm really excited to try this probiotic. There are natural things that we can use, but also keep in mind that even stuff like diatomaceous earth and the alcohol and the soap that I use is still potentially harmful, and it does kill all of the good stuff. So anytime you use a pesticide, you have to fertilize your plants and condition your soil after, just to make sure that your plant is not suffering. So to reiterate all of these things that I said in the video, your soil health is really important. Your plant's resiliency depends on soil health. Your plant is less likely to come down with an infestation or a disease if your plant is in healthy soil and your plant is healthy. Your plants will be less susceptible to pests if they are healthy. Stressed out plants are like a siren call to pests. They just know for some reason they will come and they will destroy your plant. So if you're having issues with pests, outbreak after outbreak, you're going to want to reevaluate your environment and make sure that your plants are really, really thriving and that they're in good soil and that they're in the right environment, because something is not right. If those plants are constantly getting pests, they are in stress and you need to figure out why. So definitely keep in mind the metaphor, the analogy that I tried to give you about our gut and how important it is to have a good balance of bacteria and other microbes in our gut for our whole body health. The same goes for your plants and the soil that they are in. They need all of the good stuff. Some of the bad stuff is fine sometimes. As long as you have enough of the good stuff there, your plant is going to be healthy and your plant is going to thrive and your plant is going to be more resilient in the first place. So we're really getting to the root of the problem here instead of just always trying to fix the symptoms, which is a very holistic way of looking at it, which completely fits into the way that my brain works and the way that I look at things. I'm always trying to get to the root of the problem. How can we really solve what's happening here so that we don't have to do all of these other things? So soil health is a really big one, and I think it's a topic that we need to start talking more about because people don't really know and don't really talk about it. So keep in mind how important and how sacred that soil is to your plant. If you put a systemic pesticide in there, you've killed everything, all of the good stuff. So just be really mindful of that. Be mindful of where you are disposing of these plants that have been treated. Be mindful of the fact that it can go into the water supply and hurt other animals. Like, I'd say just like don't use it, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to share the information with you and my opinions with you, and you are free to make your own choices. So I hope that you found this to be helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or if you disagree with me and you hate me now and you want to unsubscribe. That's fine. It's a little dramatic, but it's fine. I think it's an important thing to talk about. Like I said, I see so many influencers promoting it as just like a normal thing and a preventive thing, and it's really not something we should be willy-nilly about. Like, we need to make sure that we're properly educated in how these things work and how it affects the environment and the ecosystems around us. So we don't want to be responsible for like destroying the environment, right? I don't anyway. So that is it for this video. Again, I will leave the BIOS probiotic linked down below for you guys. You can use my code Jacqueline'sJungle20 to get 20% off of your purchase and try it with me. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really tell you how I feel about it, but I thought again that it fit perfectly into the theme of this video, so I wanted to share it with you. So thank you, BIOS, for sending me these. By the way, this is not sponsored. They just sent it to me to try and ask me for my honest review. So that is my story for the day. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me. If you did, you should give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything from me. There is a join button down there if you want to be part of the official plant fam. Come on over and get some perky perks and hang out with us. And if not, there's a super thanks button. If you want to super thanks me, everything is appreciated. You guys know that I cannot do this without you. I appreciate you so, so very much. And I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.